It's hard to explain what cinema means to me. Over the years, certain movies have shaped my worldview, comforted me in difficult times, and reminded me of the beauty in everyday life. I've made a list of my 20 favorite films. And in this video, I want to share not just the titles, but the specific reasons why each one stands out. Some are technically brilliant, others just hit me at the right moment. So, let's dive in. Let's start with the ultimate classic, Parent Trap. This movie defines my childhood, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it more than 100 times, no exaggeration. It perfectly blends coming of age with romantic comedy, taking you on a journey of self-discovery alongside the twins, while also incorporating key elements of a love story and an adventure full of obstacles and fun. But what stands out the most to me about Parent Trap is the performance and character development of Hallie and Annie. Maybe I didn't appreciate it as much when I was a kid, but now I realize how difficult and fun it must have been to play two such iconic and subtly different characters. Lindsay Lohan's charisma and talent truly shined on screen, and I'm sure that's why so many people in my generation either dreamt of being a child star or having a twin. It was always one or the other. There's something utterly unique about the Florida Project. A film that tells a difficult, often heartbreaking story, but through the innocent and chaotic eyes of a child. Set just outside the gates of Disney World, it contrasts the fantasy sold to tourists with the harsh reality of the families living week to week in motels. Director Sean Baker uses handheld cinematography and natural lighting to create intimacy, almost like you're eavesdropping on real life. The colors make the story feel warm and create an aesthetic that encapsulates the unique feeling of the scenery. I thought about it for days after I saw it for the first time, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. The ending made me a wreck of emotions, and the only way I have to describe it is as magical, just like Disney World. It's a film that represents the type of movie I would love to make one day. It's no secret I'm a big fan of romance. And one of my main sources of some of the best romantic stories for years have been Korean dramas. So, naturally, I wanted to explore more of the hidden gems of Korean cinema. That's how I found Ilmare. There's something hauntingly tender about Ilmare. It's not a typical romance. It's slower, more delicate. The whole story unfolds through letters exchanged across time, connecting two souls who never meet face to face. I was so invested in each of their daily lives and how little by little their romance grew. This isn't about grand gestures, it's about subtle feelings, loneliness, longing, and hope. The ocean setting, the quiet soundtrack, the melancholy architecture, all create an atmosphere that somehow is both dreamy and grounded. Ilmare has some of my favorite shots in cinema ever, and looking at them, it's impossible not to revisit the feelings the movie awoke in me. It's a film that trusts silence. It doesn't rush to explain or dramatize. Instead, it lingers in emotion, showing how love can exist across timelines, even if it's never fulfilled in a traditional sense. Nostalgia has never felt so grounded. Now and Then is about memory, the kind that feels like a summer afternoon you never wanted to end. It follows four women revisiting the summer that changed their lives, cutting between their adult selves and their 12-year-old adventures in the 70s. This movie has some of my favorite people ever, like Christina Ricci, who is one of my favorite actresses, and 90s icon Thora Birch, from the best Halloween movie ever, Hocus Pocus. To make you guys understand how obsessed I was when I discovered this movie, I showed it to all the people close to me over and over again. What makes it special is how it treats adolescence with honesty. It's not overly sentimental. It allows for awkwardness, pain, curiosity, and laughter. The friendships feel lived in. The small town setting becomes a map of emotional landmarks. There's something powerful of seeing girlhood portrayed with depth, acknowledging that even young lives can carry grief, secrets, and questions. And yet, there's comfort in that final message, that some friendships really do last forever, even when everything else changes. This movie is a love letter to female friendship, and I dedicate it to all my female friends. You know who you are. This is the first but not the last Studio Ghibli movie in my list. Honestly, I wish I could add almost all of their movies here, because they all have something unique and magical that can be done by anyone else. But Princess Mononoke is mythic and it changed me. It's a war story wrapped in beauty, a meditation on the balance between humanity and nature. The line between good and evil is blurred, and everyone is both right and wrong. The landscapes are breathtaking, the creatures unforgettable, and the score is haunting. But what really elevates it for me, it's the emotional weight. Ashitaka isn't trying to save the world, he's trying to understand it. And San is one of the fiercest and most complex heroines in animation. I was lucky enough to see it at the re-release in cinemas, and living it through the big screen was something unforgettable. Seeing the amount of creativity put into every scene and how music and the script blended perfectly with the style of animation made me appreciate Studio Ghibli in a whole new light. I saw To Live for the first time in my cinema class in college. It is one of the most important works of China's fifth-generation cinema that embraced personal stories, visual poetry, and historical reflection. To Live is epic, but not in the usual grandiose sense. It's epic because it covers decades of change, whether personal, political, or emotional. Through one family's story, the film shows how ordinary lives are shaped, shattered, and reformed by history. The characters are flawed, but deeply human, and their endurance becomes the heart of the story. I have this movie to thank for piquing my interest in Asian films, and I'm glad it was the first of many. There is a beauty and an irony that I discovered this movie when I was literally 13 years old. I was in 7th grade obsessed with it, and me and my friends would watch it all the time, but for different reasons that I do now. When I was young, I watched 13 mostly because I thought it was cool that they did drugs and alcohol, that they acted like grown-ups, and I was defending most of the girls' decisions and rooting for their bad behavior. Now, it's a completely different story. As a 28-year-old, I see 13 as a raw depiction of emotions and a truly terrifying journey of a young girl struggling with depression and identity. It's not polished, it's not subtle, but that's the point. It throws you into the chaotic, electric storm of early teenagehood, with all its confusion, rebellion, shame, and need to be seen. There's something visceral about the way the camera follows Tracy's descent. It's intimate, handheld, almost invasive. You can clearly see how the tone and art direction of the movie changes as the story progresses, as it gets darker and darker. It's an iconic accomplishment for independent cinema, using minimum resources and locations to create an atmosphere that only a great script can do. Honestly, going through life without experiencing Bollywood and Indian cinema is a waste. You may be afraid of the grandness of it all, the exaggerated storylines, and the runtime, but I promise it will change your life. This film is a love letter to grand cinema. Every frame of Jaan looks like it was designed to be remembered. Sweeping camera movements, saturated colors, and a score that feels eternal. What stands out is Yash Chopra's direction. elegant, emotional, unapologetically melodramatic. The cinematography blends London's grey with Ladakh's golden hues, creating a visual contrast between restraint and passion. I love it because it embraces emotion at full volume. It's cinema that believes in destiny, in music, in aching love stories told through glances and monologues. It's not subtle, but it's spectacular. That's its beauty. There's something incredibly human about this film. It's heartbreak, grief, and recovery told through long conversations and quiet glances. That thing called Tadhana proves that sometimes all you need for great cinema is two people talking and walking. What makes it stand out is its minimalism. No grand gestures, no forced tears, just honesty. The script feels like a real conversation, full of awkward pauses and half answers. Its cinematography mirrors that simplicity. Handheld shots, natural light, soft tones that make you feel like you're eavesdropping on someone's healing. I love it because it shows that love stories don't have to end in love to feel profound. It changed the landscape of modern Filipino cinema, showing that authenticity can be cinematic. Trust is one of those movies that stay with me long after it ended. It's quiet, uncomfortable, and deeply human. I remember not understanding the gravity of its subject matter, but now, as an adult woman, I can help but feel the confusion, the anger, and the sadness it portrays. I connected to it because it feels painfully real. The dialogue is messy and restrained, like people who don't know how to talk about what happened but are forced to live with it. Visually, the film is simple and distant, almost cold, which makes everything feel more honest. The camera doesn't dramatize the pain, it respects it. I love Trust because it doesn't offer easy closure. It shows that rebuilding trust is slow, fragile, and imperfect. It changed the way I see films about trauma, proving that sensitivity and restraint can be more powerful than shock. But from him I never want to part. I don't have a strong childhood attachment to Fantasia. I barely remember it from when I was a kid. But as I grew older and started getting deeper into movies, especially into art direction, I slowly realized just how monumental this film is. Fantasia feels less like a movie and more like a journey. There's no conventional structure, no dialogue, no obligation to tell a story in the usual way. Instead, it lets color, movement, and music take control. The use of color is fearless, abstract, expressive, even sometimes overwhelming, and every segment feels like a different artistic experiment. What made me fall in love with it later in life is how free it is. It proves that cinema doesn't need rules to exist, that storytelling can be emotional, visual, and musical without explanation. Fantasia changed the way I understand art direction in film, showing that there are no limits to form, structure, or imagination when cinema fully embraces itself as art. People that know me know that I'm obsessed with Japanese culture and film. So it's hard not to add almost every story from there in this list. However, there is a movie that left me crying for almost 10 minutes after it was over. I was just there in the cinema, sitting in silence, thinking about the power of the script and the beauty you can find even in the most painful things. Voices in the Wind is slow, quiet, and that's what makes it powerful. The camera rarely moves fast, it lingers, observing landscapes still haunted by absence. Technically, it's breathtaking. The cinematography captures rural Japan with muted colors and wide shots that let emotions breathe. Natural light dominates every scene, turning everyday spaces into memorials. The editing is deliberate, long takes that invite you to sit in silence. It's about a girl that travels through Japan, trying to go back home, where the 2011 earthquake and tsunami took her family from her. A horrific event that is portrayed with care, where we get to appreciate the ordinary moments of life itself. Christian F. doesn't just show addiction, it immerses you in it. The cinematography is gritty and unflinching. Handheld shots, fluorescent lights, the cold concrete of Berlin. It feels documentary-like, almost surreal. What I love is how he uses music. David Bowie's soundtrack turns pain into something ethereal. The editing mirrors the chaos of youth, disjointed, fast, then suddenly still. The script never tries to moralize, it just shows. It changed cinema by breaking the illusion of glamour. It's punk filmmaking, fearless, brutal, unforgettable. The kind of movie that crawls under your skin and stays there. It's honestly baffling how I haven't seen many lists that mention Christian F. as one of the pioneers for other amazing projects like 13, Kids, Bully, and more. So, don't be too scared to give this masterpiece a shot. It's worth it. What drew me to Novitiate more than anything was the story itself. That deeply personal journey of discovery at the crossroads of sexuality, faith, and identity. It's a film about questioning, about what happens when devotion starts to crack and desire quietly enters the room. I connected to it because it doesn't treat religion as an abstract idea, but as something lived in the body and the mind. Margaret Qualley's performance is what truly anchors the film for me. She plays uncertainty with such restraint. Every pause, every glance feels loaded. Her silence often says more than the dialogue, which is sparse but incredibly intentional. When characters do speak, the words feel heavy, almost ceremonial, like confessions rather than conversations. What I love most is the use of metaphor. How discipline becomes a stand-in for repression, how rituals mirror longing, and how the absence of touch becomes its own language. The film doesn't rush answers, it lets discomfort exist. Novitiate changed how I see stories about religion, showing that faith, sexuality, and self-discovery don't exist separately. They collide. And sometimes that collision is where truth begins. Just lay here with you. Sometimes being a bit obsessive has led me to discover some of my favorite films of all time. And The Paradise of Thorns is a perfect example of that. I first watched it because of Imfa, one of my favorite Thai celebrities and a role model for me. Curious to see her take on such a demanding role and explore Thai cinema more deeply. To say I was blown away is an understatement. From start to finish, I was completely absorbed by the story, the vibrant colors, the performances, and the way so much tenderness exists alongside such darkness. Every frame feels heavy with atmosphere, almost like it's sweating. The cinematography links into decay. with neon lights bleeding into shadows and close-ups that feel uncomfortably intimate. The sound design is haunting, and the script feels fragmented and poetic, like a dream you can fully shake. At its core, it's a story about injustice, about losing your home and your rights simply because society refuses to recognize your humanity. The parallels between Thai culture and Latin American traditions resonated with me deeply and made the film hit in a way I didn't expect. I need every girl to watch How to Have Sex. It captures the modern teenage experience with brutal honesty. It's loud, then suddenly silent. And in that silence lies everything unsaid. The cinematography is vibrant and suffocating at the same time. Neon lights, sweat, mascara, and the claustrophobia of youth. The editing mimics memory. Fast flashes of joy followed by sudden stillness. The performances feel improvised, painfully real. I love it because it refuses to be moralistic. It's not about guilt or judgment, it's about confusion and consent. It's technically bold, narratively fearless, and emotionally necessary. It's a very short movie that manages to say more about consent and sexual assault than others with double the runtime. So please, do yourselves a favor and watch How to Have Sex. Sentimental Value is the newest film on this list, coming out in 2025. It feels like the culmination of everything that draws me to Joaquin Trier's cinema. A style that looks and sounds like real life, yet is built with an almost theatrical precision, divided into distinct emotional acts that feel deliberate without ever feeling artificial. His dialogue has the rare quality of being painfully specific and quietly devastating, as if you're overhearing something you weren't meant to hear. What truly wrecks me, though, is the acting, especially the character of Agnes, whose performance is, without a doubt, my favorite of the entire year. The film's portrayal of family dynamics is raw, uncomfortable, and deeply humane, refusing easy catharsis while still offering moments of unbearable tenderness. It destroyed me emotionally, but in the way only films like this can, by pulling me in so completely that I couldn't look away. Well, after talking about 17 of my favorite movies, we've come to the end. These are my top 3 films of all time. These are the movies that shaped how I feel, how I dream, and how I see the world. Each one is a journey, a piece of me, and I hope they take you somewhere special too. Your Name was the first anime I ever fell in love with, and it felt bigger than conventional cinema. What struck me the most was how it transcends animation. It feels like a personal journey. The attention to detail is unparalleled. Every frame is meticulously crafted, from the subtle shifts in Tokyo's skyline to the rural serenity of Itomori. The cinematography is like a dream, fluid, layered, and always in sync with emotion. The music, the haunting score, is crucial. It acts almost like a character, rising and falling with every emotional beat, amplifying longing, nostalgia, and wonder. I love that this film doesn't rely on traditional plot alone. It uses music, pacing, and lyrical imagery to make you feel like you're part of the connection between Taki and Mitsuha. Your Name redefined what anime could be for me. It made me believe that cinema, at its most precise and beautiful, can be a transcendence of itself. Mustang was the first Turkish film I ever watched, and it left a deep impression on me. It captures both the joy and the cost of being a young woman. The warmth of sisterhood, laughter, and freedom slowly turning into restriction, control, and the loss of choice. Watching that shift felt both beautiful and devastating. What stayed with me the most is the bond between the sisters. Even as their world closes in and they're pushed into adulthood without consent, they still have each other. That connection becomes their only sense of freedom. Technically, the film feels incredibly real. The acting is so natural, it almost feels like a documentary. And the cinematography is soft, warm, and intimate. It makes every moment feel close and personal. I also love how much the film relies on silence and ordinary actions. Small gestures carry so much emotion without needing to be explained. It's a quiet but powerful story about being trapped, growing up too fast, and resistant in the only ways you can. It made me feel everything so intensely that it even made me want to act, just to experience those emotions from the inside. For anyone who knows me, the number one movie on this list won't come as a surprise. I literally have it tattooed on my body, so it's safe to say it's the movie of my life. It is, of course, Spirited Away. I've watched it more than 100 times, and somehow every single time feels like the first. I always cry, and I'm not someone who usually cries at movies. The only way I can describe it is that it never really feels like a movie. It feels like a dream I get to revisit. Every time I watch it, I notice something new. A detail in the background, a small gesture, a line that suddenly means something completely different. It holds both joy and sadness at once. That quiet, bittersweet feeling that stays with you longer after it ends. Technically, it's flawless. The animation feels alive in a way that's almost impossible. Every movement, every texture, every tiny detail in the bathhouse makes the world feel infinite. The music is essential. It doesn't just support the film, it guides your emotions, moving you gently between wonder, nostalgia, and melancholy. The characters feel deeply human, even in their strangeness. Chihiro's journey is simple on the surface, but it carries so much. Growing up, losing innocence, learning resilience. And the script is filled with metaphors about identity, greed, memory, and transformation. Nothing is forced, everything just exists, waiting for you to understand it in your own time. I love this movie because it shaped how I see cinema, and honestly, how I see life. It showed me that stories don't have to be explained to be felt, that imagination has no limits, and that there is beauty in the in-between. Spirited Away isn't just a film to me. It's the reason I fell in love with movies in the first place.